And March 19th, moving right along. um, so, yeah, we got into music, all the three boys. Now, Neil, he was the first. Somewhere along the line, I guess he uh, heard some accordion playing, probably on, gosh, what was it? Lawrence Welk show. And he maybe took up to that, really liked it and was querying about it. So mom and pop, they bought him accordion, and he probably got some lessons because at some point he was pretty good. At that age, whatever age he started, I mean, he was hammering out tunes, and he would, whenever we went up to, let's say, a local bar where kids just could come in, uh, he would play, and the people would give tips and all that kind of stuff. So pretty cool. But once we, started getting involved with the school uh, music interests, I can't remember. I don't think he ever dabbled with the clarinet. That quite often is a woodwind that kind of is a nice first introductory instrument. Um, I think he just basically got the alto sax, and then of course probably Larry close on behind that. I can't remember either whether he went the clarinet route, which I did. I started out with clarinet. Uh, then Larry was also going alto sax. And I never got to be in a band with Neil because he was just always an age ahead in the school process, and I never got to be in the band with him. But several years with Larry, primarily our interest was a jazz band. Although Larry did play oboe in the orchestra, and I would play clarinet with the orchestra, and then with the uh, string type thing, I'd play the bassoon, and that was a pretty cool instrument there. But it's kind of like the cello, cello, bassoon, French horn, three instruments that if you don't play it really well, it just sounds horrible. So hopefully I wasn't too horrible, but it was a really a neat instrument to play. So yeah, we primarily really all three of us really enjoyed the jazz band, and that was primarily the guy that was driving that was Chuck LaValle, the music guy at the junior high, and so Neil enjoyed that for the years. Of course, when you're music director in a small school, you're going to also have to do, the director is going to have to also do the marching band, orchestra, and possibly even the choir. So that keeps him pretty busy, but no doubt Mr. LaValle's main love and an interest was jazz, and he was a real jazz man. So for some of the stuff that we did, he'd be playing the piano, and we're playing stuff from Kenton and other uh, some even uh, performers that go way back. Um, and so I had him for all through junior high, and then he transferred to the local high school, Victor Valley Jackrabbits. Go Jackrabbits! And so it was cool because I loved Mr. LaValle. I think most of the people did that were in the music, and so moved right up to the high school and still playing tenor sax. And I'd already developed some improvisational skills on the saxophone in the middle school, and so quite often, if there was a song that had a spot for a solo improvisational thing, I would be standing up and going after that. Really enjoyed that, and gosh, we got to go places where we would, our jazz band, we would go as far as Needles, California. Uh, and is that California? I believe so. Or is it Nevada? It might be Nevada. I think he crossed the border. And for a couple of years, we'd go there and we'd be their prom band. We would play, and they just went nuts with the fact that we were playing music that was different than what they had heard, and but they could still dance and rock out to it. So lots of good stuff. It you know probably provided some people an avenue to do something other than sports and possibly continue on through uh, a higher education in music and such. Um, so went into the senior high, and that's when Mr. LaValle transferred there. So that was cool. Let's do some more jazz. And we started even before we went there. We were on the during the summer. There would be the Stan Kenton clinics in Redlands, California, at the university, and this was just unbelievable to have Stan Kenton there and Stan Kenton Band and other noted jazz musicians. And it was just I think it was at least a 2 week, maybe even more, 3 or 4, I don't know, maybe 3 week deal of where we just music all day long, uh, different songs, and then doing performances and all. Uh, so gosh, I guess I had at least 5 years of attending the Stan Kenton clinics. Um, and then well, with in my senior year, my parents were having difficulties to the point where they were separating, and it was going to be divorce time. A lot of it probably around, circled around the problem of the alcohol. And so came a decision. I'm in school, uh, ju- uh, junior year, and my parents are divorced. And Ma settles down with actually what was one of Pa's friends, Don Parsons. And they moved to Riverside, California, just down the hill, as we call it, into the valley. And I was left with the choice of staying here with angry, drunk father that would be, absent most of the time, either working or out on a drunk, or move down to Riverside. And what really sealed the deal, although even without this, my main reason of moving down there was uh, Mr. LaValle was retiring, and he wasn't going to be there in my senior year. So these two things, my love of music, the love of the jazz, and the loss of Mr. LaValle retiring, um, I would move down to Riverside, which was close to Corona, California. And at that time, Corona didn't have a bad name like Corona does today. But uh, whenever we went to these jazz band contests in the state where, the bands would go to some location and we would all play our tunes and we would be judged on performance and all. And I mean, there was this band from Corona that you just had to applaud them. They were just great, and they would win every time. We did well, but man, nothing come close to Corona. And so I go, well, I'm going to be living in Riverside. Is there a way that instead of attending some unknown school in Riverside, I could go do my senior year in Corona. Well, you had to have residence in Corona. So my mama, she worked it out. She went and visited somebody and said, "Can we borrow your address?" And this is, what it's going to say where I live. And so we did that. Got away with it. Apparently, no problem. I would drive at this time I had a Volkswagen bus, and I would drive there each day to school, which it was only like maybe 20 miles on the freeway, and so really not too bad of a drive to go from Riverside to Corona. And what was crazy in this school was, as far as academically, yeah, I had very little interest in the academics part of it because I was so involved with my head wrapped around music and jazz. But I did enough work that I would pass the courses. And it was weird when I got to Corona. They said, "Man, we're looking at your records, and we don't have anything to offer you. You've fulfilled all your obligations as far as math and science and English and all the other crap." And I go, "Well, what do I do?" It said, "Well, you take some more music." I said, "Well, I'm going to be in the jazz band. Well, there's the concert band. There's the choir. There's all these different things." So I said, "I'll just take them all." And it ends up I only showed up to the jazz band. It's like, oh, what a senior year it was because there was no reading, writing, arithmetic going on. It was just music, music, music. So it worked out pretty good. And now the instructor, he was no, uh, he was not a Charles LaValle or Chuck LaValle. This guy, he conducted the band like a football coach might coach a football team. I mean, he was hard. He didn't pull any punches, and never came down to physical violence, but verbally, if you weren't making the mark, man, he would let you have it. And so I go, "Eh, okay, I can put up with that." This is why this band was so damn good. And so was a very enjoyable year. In fact, the band was so good. We got selected. We made a tape. They had a national contest. Send in the tape of a few of your songs, and we will pick the top 10 and have a chance to be going to the jazz festival in, come on, brain. Um, I apologize. Uh, I'll come up with it, but it's overseas and it's in Switzerland. I'm getting close. I'm getting close. Help me here. You guys aren't any help. Okay. But to be able to do that, the Montreux Jazz Festival, thank you. Thank you for your input. Montreux Jazz Festival that they would do every year. And, but okay, so we got, I don't know, 20 guys in our band. What's it going to cost to fly and attend that now that we've been selected? It came to something like about $28,000, for the trip there, for all the hotels. We're going to do a 20-day tour through all of Europe, playing every day someplace until we get down to the Montreux Jazz Festival where we will compete in the deal. And so what an adventure. And in fact, uh, wow, I've really skipped some interesting stuff. I'll have to retrack on the next video. Uh, I had a girlfriend, and I'd had her for quite a while, and it worked out that her parents they said, "Look, if somebody wants to bring a parent or a friend, um, they would have to come up with something like $1,200 or something, to cover their expenses, because we're talking plane plane flight, bus trip through Europe, food at some really nice restaurants. Although some of the stuff I go, I'm not going to eat that." And so yeah, she got to go along. And I think there was one other, yeah, there was one other band member that his gal friend also went along. And now, what got us to the Montreux Jazz Festival, I think, mainly was we were playing some good music. A lot of it was Kenton and some Buddy Rich, and we went to an actual official recording studio. I don't know who paid for that. Probably just the band instructor, set down the money, and it was cool because we're sitting in all these separate little isolation boxes, and we got the headphones on, and it was all uh, recorded quality, not just a microphone out in some audience picking it up. And I know that helped a lot, despite the fact, hey, we're going up not just statewide bands, we're going up against national bands. And so, yeah, that worked out pretty good. We did go, we did not win. Uh, it was kind of weird. The it was the our band leader. He decided a whole new set of music, and the whole theme was Porgy and Bess. Which fine, I mean that's a great thing. But when we got scored playing the whole thing of Porgy and Bess, they said, "Well, that was good, but they didn't consider that to be jazz." And I'm going, unfortunate, because if we had played the set that we had played that got us there, I think we would have been up there close to being able to win that thing. But it was quite an adventure. I'll probably uh, update a little bit more on that related to some of the hijinks that was going on. You take a bunch of uh, teenage guys and gals on a trip like that. Yeah, it gets kind of interesting. Um, the uh, the next video I'll do probably will jump back some because I really jumped up in time a little bit, and I've neglected some important things related to. I started dating girls, and so there'll be some interesting stuff about that, and we'll get back again. We'll be going back a little bit in time where my mom and pop still married, doing the camping thing and all that. A lot of good times during that period before it all went to hell. So I'm gonna go ahead and let me see if there was anything else. I don't see anything else where I wrote here that. And probably, oh yeah, I forgot. Oh gosh. So we play the drinking tricks on my pa. He gets drunk and would, like I explained in the previous video. But when we found him passed out on the floor, oh man, when he wakes up, he's not going to be a happy man. So one time he's passed out on the floor in the living room. And so we take his arms and we put his arms like this, and we got some, ornamental fake roses or tulips or whatever, and put them in his hands, and he's laying there like he is dead. and finally he wakes up and he looks down at that and he's a little bit shocked and oh, there were those kids. But that wasn't the best one. So again, we catch him passed out on the floor. And so we got my mama's makeup kit out and we did his eyebrows and we put rouge real heavily and we put lipstick on him. And you know, I guess with drinking, when you wake up from a big drunk like that, the first thing you want to do is go get a beer. And he didn't have any beer at home because he had drank it all apparently. And we did. I think we were at school, but he gets up and he goes down to the local bar, which of course is just about a mile away. Vans, it was called Rocket Inn or something like that. And he goes down there didn't even take a look in the mirror to see what he looked like. And he walked in. We had his hair curled. We did the whole thing. And he walked in, and people, they are just cracking up. And he's going, "What?" And they're just cracking. So he goes into the bathroom and he looks in the mirror and he says, "I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him." Oh boy, boy, we got the run around after that one. That was a good one. Good team effort. So yeah, fun with Paw. But again, I kind of jumped ahead with the music thing. It advanced me so quickly. I left out some important stuff, and we'll get back next day or two and correct all that. So we're at 20 minutes and 30 seconds. So my time is up. Back to confining myself from the coronavirus. Bye bye.